Okay, so hello everyone. This video is inspired by the last two videos that I uploaded. One was how to identify engine noise for the 5.6 rattling sound. And because I found out that engine noise was produced by a worn out balancer sprocket as well as the silent shaft, I ended up with having to delete the timing belt B, which is this video balancer shaft belt delete for the 5.6. Now, because of that, I noticed my engine has a slightly higher RPM, okay? Just slight. Now, just so you know, I did not adjust the idle nor have I tuned up the engine after the last video, okay? I'll share a difference and provide you with clips from both videos and you be the judge. So, you see, now granted, the before video, only one silent shaft was turning because the other one had a worn out sprocket. That's why the engine had a higher vibration. But I think it's safe to say because this balancer belt was removed, and mind you, because the balancer shafts are supposed to turn twice the speed of the engine, and because these balancers are no longer being turned by the engine, it no longer had a parasitic effect on the engine. Now, if you should know, a parasitic effect or a parasitic load is any additional load that you put on the engine that it is supposed to turn like the AC compressor. So like I've said, because the balancers are no longer being turned by the engine, it no longer has a parasitic effect, making the engine easier to turn. And that's why I think this engine has a slightly higher RPM than before, because I opted to delete the balancer belt because I could not find a replacement balancer shaft. This, I think, is the reason why I believe some people choose to deliberately delete the balancers. Because if the engine is easier to turn, you will consume less fuel while having more power. And this leads to a source of contention among people in Facebook groups or in engine forums. You'll find a group of people espousing for deleting the balancers, and on the other side of the bank are the purists, people whose contentions are something like this. Hey, the engine designers did not spend all those years and millions designing an engine, so if they included that, that's because it's important. Then you'll have the other side responding, saying that if that is your argument, guess what? The engine designers also included this too, and this serves no other real purpose than just to make the engine look more advanced, and it becomes a never-ending discussion. But let's get one thing straight. The balancers are there with one purpose, which is to reduce vibration. Will the engine work without it? Yes, it still would. Will the engine vibrate more without it? I would dare say yes, it will slightly, but if you're not very keen, you would hardly ever notice it. Now, don't get me wrong, okay? I'm not saying or espousing that you should or you should not delete your balancers. I'm just sharing with you what I have observed, okay? The only real way I believe we can really know as to the pros and cons of deleting or not deleting the balancers, if there is someone out there with an engine test stand like this and run the engine with and without balancers and show us a more definite scientific result. But as far as I'm concerned, and this is only my take on it, okay, I do believe the engine designers already have conducted an engine test, and most probably they think that having balancers is more advantageous and outweighs the parasitic effect it has on the engine, okay? Otherwise, if the advantage doesn't outweigh the disadvantage, then why go through all this? Because it would be far easier to manufacture the engine. You see, if you cast the engine block, you would no longer need to include a recess in the engine mold for the balancers. The result would be a cheaper and easier to manufacture engine. You no longer have to install the balancers, you no longer have to install this belt as well as these two balancer sprockets and all that, and the result would be a lighter engine. But if they included all that, it's most probably because, like I've said, the advantage outweighs the disadvantage. Otherwise, why go through all that trouble? But like I've said, the only real way that can conclusively settle this, if someone would do a video with an engine test stand and test the engine with and without balancers. That way we will all see a convincingly definite and scientific result. Anyway, that's just my thought on this topic, okay? I'm not trying to start an argument here, so should you feel to make your views known to others, do so respectfully. People can still disagree, but we can always disagree with respect. What I'm saying is we must always keep an open mind because it is only with an open mind that we can continue to learn. Like the saying goes, the mind is like a parachute and it doesn't work unless it is open. So if you like this video and the topic, let me know in the comments below. Like, share, subscribe if you want to. Only if you want to. And as always, thank you for watching.